January 14th has marked 2 years since Brian passed, and that got me thinking. Let's talk about some things. 2 years, it's kind of crazy. In some ways, I feel like it has been a lot longer. In other days, sometimes it just feels like it was yesterday since Brian's been here. I think it's nice because obviously being here, at the Reptarium and now Legacy, we get to be with all the animals that he was with and loved all the time, so that always makes him feel a lot closer. But yeah, it's definitely a journey. It's a journey in progress that changes every day. There's definitely some better days, and there's definitely some not so good days. One thing that's kind of cool with certain animals in particular, like our girl Bella here, is she was always definitely one of Brian's favorites. And just even spending time with her, honestly, is a way that you can really feel closer to him. And it's funny too because she's very particular about who she likes and who she'll come to, which I think is kind of funny, but she always loved him and she never told him no, so that I thought was always sweet. She always had a very, very sweet spot and a deep connection with him.
Here we are, 2 years later to the date, and I'll tell you, not a day goes by that we don't talk about Brian, that we don't miss Brian, that Brian is not always literally living in the forefront of our minds. But I will tell you, working here, walking around, just seeing and feeling his energy is the thing that gets me through day to day. 2 years honestly went by a lot faster. I can't even believe we're standing here saying 2 years, but I'll say that if it wasn't for this place, 2 years probably would have felt like a lot longer.
As you've heard, it is 2 years later and still doesn't feel real. 2 full years without my dad. Not only here, but in personal life too. There's so much that has been accomplished and done. Obviously, I'm coming on a 2-year-old son. My son was born not even 3 months after my dad passed, so it's almost exactly the same time frame, and he hasn't seen him at all. That's crazy. I don't know where the time went, right? It just feels like it all happens in a blink of an eye. Also, what else is here? It stings. It's really sad. We had so much fun filming videos all across the world, all across the country, at home. I mean, we had a blast handling venomous snakes, dealing with crazy killer crocodiles, and educating so many people, going viral on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. And it's never ending, right? The amount of experiences that we had, and to think that 2 years has passed and now it's just us, and we're trying to emulate the same thing, but it will forever be different.
Honestly, I really think that Brian would be so happy with where we are today. That's part of the sadness in it all, that he's not here to see where we're at and all the things that we've done, and be involved in the future that we're planning too. I really couldn't be happier. I mean, the place is going amazing. The people are loving it. They're coming out in droves, and we're just honestly, pretty much completing the vision that we had for this amazing space and for the future and the growth of what the Reptarium was and what now Reptarium and Legacy are. Honestly, I know he would be ecstatic for where we're at, and honestly for where we're going to.
It's kind of hard to believe, but 2 years ago, the cement tanks for the fish, we're still getting sealed. We're dealing with leaks. There's really no water in anything yet. Reptile enclosures are still being delivered, not even close to being finished 2 years to this day. Any thoughts on that?
It's funny, honestly. Sometimes I try not to think about things like where we were 2 years ago, literally today, because honestly, it was a very scary place. There was almost nothing done. All we had were those few cement tanks, no walls, no cages. We didn't have, honestly, hardly anything. And being in that position of yeah, trying to figure all that out and go, oh my gosh, we are so far away. And even at that point, honestly, I really had no idea how far away it was. Definitely glad I'm not there anymore, and definitely glad that we made it to where we are today.
I think 2 years later, Dad would have the same reaction that he would still, like, literally in this moment. From the day that we opened the doors to right now, he would still feel like exactly the same. Being able to walk around, see these tanks, see the fish, see the people pouring in the doors, he would have that same amount of excitement, honestly, that he did from the day that we put our first tanks even in the building before renovation even started.
How do I think my dad would react to the legacy and the Reptarium and it being built? There's a few things. It's multi-layered, right? One, I think that he would think it's amazing, the best accomplishment that he's really achieved in his life in the physical way. I mean, it's amazing. The cages are massive and beautiful. The animals are more rare than they have ever been. The amount of species and so on and so forth that we work with is as large as it's ever been. So I think that he would be astonished and blown away and very proud. But then I also think, what would be different? He was so creative in not only a sense of social media, but just in every way, right? Woodsmanship, I mean, the craftsmanship he would build. I mean, he built the house that I grew up in. Literally built it, him and a couple buddies. He had questions, he would go to Home Depot and ask the employees, hey, how do I do this? And then they would tell him, he would write it down on a piece of paper, go home, and then do it. So like walking around, yeah, he designed everything, but you know, realistically there would be changes. You know, he would see things ground level from the floor, and then he would, you know, really make changes. So I think that it's multiple layered. I think he would be blown away and astonished, and then a part of me thinks, hey, what would he see and say, hey, let's make this different?
I think he would be mind blown, actually. I think about what his reaction would be to our accomplishments all the time, and I wish that I could see his reaction to it, but he would definitely be very expressive, and I know he'd be thrilled. He'd be super excited.
So Brian's reaction to the completed legacy would honestly be incredible. I think he'd be running through here playing like a kid, jumping in Stingray and petting all the mammals and taking out every big snake so that the guests could enjoy all these interactions. It's basically like an animal person's playground. It's our favorite place. We love it so much, and I know Brian would bring just the biggest energy ever to this building. I wish he was here.
So if I had to choose what I think Brian's favorite exhibit over here at the new legacy would be, it would definitely be the bridge tank. I think the fact that we handpicked this out in the back of a parking lot back in Texas years ago, and actually to see how beautiful this is, how it came together, 100%, I think this would be his favorite.
There's so many things that I know that Brian would love about this place, but one thing that I know would never ever change is literally just watching the amount of people come in here, have so many animal interactions, being able to hold stuff, being able to pet stuff. I know for a fact that there's some specific things he would love, right? Like being able to walk in and see Ivy, being able to walk in and see Bowser. But I'm telling you, he would love nothing more than to be able to stand right here and watch hundreds of people come in this door and get experiences that last a lifetime.
So what would be my dad's favorite feature of Legacy Aquarium and the Reptarium? And honestly, I'm thinking that this right here, the water mining, it's got to be a runner-up. I mean, this was on the forefront of his mind for years and years before the legacy was ever finished, before the project started. I've done it a million times. He would have his imaginary shaker, and he would be like, look at the kids, I can see them doing it right now, putting it in the water and shaking for the mines and getting the gemstones. So this mining station, I think that this might be his favorite. I mean, it's got to be a runner-up there. But there is one other thing. And the other thing is this hurricane simulator machine right here. Same thing. He saw this before at another facility, and he was like, no, we need the mining, we need the hurricane simulator. So I think that these would hold a special place in his heart. They were his ideas. He had a passion for putting these little fun activities outside of the animal experiences in the legacy, which is why I'm choosing it to be my dad's favorite.
One of the things that's really different with the legacy than what we have here at the Reptarium is a lot of those interactive feedings that you get to do, especially with the fish. I mean, I guess we did do that with the monitors, but with the stingrays, you can like pet them, feed them. I think that he would have loved that part of it for sure.
All right, I have to say, I think he would love Ivy's enclosure. Honestly, I could picture him doing a 24-hour challenge right here with all the guests like walking in and just seeing him in there for the full day. It would be pretty crazy. I think it's awesome just to see her in such a big enclosure, stretched out. Obviously, she's a really sweet girl, and we love her so much, and I think Brian would love this one too.
That's really a hard question, because obviously, the true answer is everything, right? But to just pick a few things, I guess, is just having him here to share in the amazingness of everything that we've accomplished. I miss the fact of, I know, like, he's not here to see, just like Tyson. Like, I know he's not that big, but if you guys go back, he's grown so much. And so, like, those are the things that honestly make me sad that he's not here to physically see, all of the animals and how they're growing and how they're thriving and welcoming the new additions. Again, I definitely can't say one, because it's everything, the fact that he's, and honestly, the fact that he's just not here to be at the door, when we open, to greet all the guests, to be so excited and share all this with everybody. Like, that one hurts a lot.
I would say one of the things that I absolutely miss is honestly just everything about him and his personality. Like, just the amount of excitement that poured out of him is truly unmatched, especially with the business being so new and us almost always rolling out new stuff. I just miss being able to run over to the office and be like, Dad, I got this new idea, let's try this. Or honestly, just the pure excitement and support will be something that will almost always be unforgettable and missed. When I sit back and I look at all the mammals we have, even thinking back to the day that I went in the office begging for Drogo, and now being able to look at all of the mammals that we have now, again, it's just his pure excitement for the future and what could be next, and where the business could go. So we're doing okay without him, but I will tell you, it would be a whole lot easier if he was here.
So what is something that I miss most about my dad? And for me, obviously, it's going to be the filming aspect. I filmed with him every day for about 7-ish years. So that's a long time. That's a long time working hand in hand. And just coming up with ideas with him. We were both obsessed with social media and YouTube. Just having another brain to bounce ideas back and forth off of was very helpful. And in many ways, I still, not in some weird way, but think of it like AI. You can prompt AI and you can have a conversation with them. Well, I spent so much time with my dad that I have this imaginary chat box with my dad in a way that I feel like I can AI chat prompt and bounce ideas off of. Meaning I come up with this idea, then I go, man, what would my dad say about this, or what would he think? And then, we have this kind of imaginary conversation, if you will. Having him in person and filming the amazing animals and seeing him and his passion and his craziness with venomous snakes and big snakes and crocodilians and all that is by far what I miss most.
So one of the things that I think that I miss the most about not having him here to see the legacy is I always think about all the time, what would be different if he was still around? And I'm sure there would be a lot of things that are different. Obviously, Lori, she does so much. But just having that duo together, I can't help but wonder, how would things be different? Did the legacy turn out exactly the way that he wanted it to? And, other things that he brought to the table that we just don't have anymore. It's very often that I think about what Brian's touch would have left on the legacy that we just don't have right now. But we're trying to pursue.
So something I miss, probably just Brian's energy and his charisma. He was goofy and silly and made every day so much fun. When I first started working here, I think he knew that I was homesick, and every day when I'd see him in the office, he'd give me a hug and just say he was glad I was here. So definitely miss everything about Brian. We obviously try to make this place as amazing as we can, but if he was here, it would be even crazier.
And I guess I would have to say my favorite memory is actually building this entire place with Brian. The fact that we've got our old video that we had playing that showed from the very beginning all the way through just really brought back all those memories of creating 1.0 and how crazy it was and how beautiful that we made it and all the people that came. Reliving that is just so amazing. Again, the whole journey, right, of what this was and what it became and how we did it. So I think that is definitely my favorite memory to think of, is the fact of us working together, making this place. And then honestly, the other part of that is working it, Reptarium the way it used to be, and working those hours. And he was so excited, and he always had so much fun and did the wildest and craziest things that drove me insane. But everybody loved it. I think that all of those things all together are definitely what my favorite memories are, and I'm just so happy to have them and to know that I always will.
Okay, I'll tell you, the question of what's my favorite Brian memory is a question that I get asked so many times, and it will always be the hardest question to answer. I cannot even tell you guys the amount of memories that I have. A lot of them we've shared with you. A lot of them you guys don't, have no idea. The part that I'm so blessed about is I got to see, a very different side of Brian. We spent a lot of time together. Couldn't even tell you, countless hours of being in the car, being at his house, being here, being at Reptarium, just so much time spent together. That the memories just pour in. But I will tell you, something that I miss more than anything is just traveling. All the places that we got to go to, all the things we got to do, literally spending hours and hours and hours driving in a car. All memories that, I hold near and dear to my heart. One of my favorite times was actually, as you guys already know, driving down to get Drogo. That was absolutely amazing. Another one of my favorites was our New York trip. I could never pick one memory, but I definitely miss traveling and making all of the memories that I have today. And speaking of that New York trip, I'll tell you, that trip was just crazy in itself for a lot of reasons. One, we ended up in New York. It was SantaCon, never heard of it, so that was absolutely crazy. The streets were filled with people. And then that was actually the time that I touched the electric eel.
I was really ready. That one is so big. Yeah, do it first, please. And I don't want to knock this filtration system off. I'm too scared. And I just won't do it.
It's a competition.
I forfeit. I don't need the $100.
I'll do it again.
All right, do it again. Oh, no. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I didn't do it.
Yeah, I'm just protecting my...
Oh, I'm feeling it though, but I didn't even do it yet.
Calm.
Wait. Oh my God! That's crazy. You guys are wild.
And again, it's one of those things where I probably wouldn't have done that with anyone other than him, to be honest. But he did really well at empowering you and making you feel brave. I was still scared, but you know what? I did it, and I just remember we were driving. It was me, him, Noah. We literally all just said all together, I touched an electric eel, and we were nobody at any point in time will ever be able to say that in a car again. So again, so many fun memories that I miss, and yeah, I love him, but we're gonna keep this place going for him.
Okay, a favorite and funny memory of my dad. It's super random and probably would change every single day that you ask me, but here today in this very moment, for whatever reason, there is the memory of my dad going in with llamas and getting I'll just say attacked. Roll the tape.
What the heck are you doing? Oh, what the heck is
Yeah, that video with him and the llamas, that's hilarious. I love that so much. It's just, It's just a funny little clip that just pops up every once in a while, and I see that and I laugh so much, just the goofiness of that. So that right there today, I think that is gonna be my favorite memory / funny moment for today.
So when me and Brian were together, I had so much fun feeding butterscotch together right here, and he like struck out the cage for the rabbit. It was so much fun. It was so cool just to see how intense these snakes are when they're ready to eat, and it was just so cool because he just lunged out at the rabbit, and it was just crazy.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you in the next one.